Preloaders, V.I.Preloaders, welcome back to the channel, guys. Always a pleasure to have you guys here with me. And you know this by now, or at least you should. For those of you that are new to this channel, your first time here, my name's Robert. I'm a retired NYPD Highway Patrol motorcycle lieutenant. I did a wonderful 22-year career with the NYPD, 15 of those years spent with the elite NYPD Highway Patrol motorcycle unit. Name of this channel is called Robert Simmons Paying It Forward. And among other things on this channel, primarily what I focus on is slow speed motorcycle operation. All right, that's knowing how to operate one of these motorcycles. And when I say one of these motorcycles, I'm talking about all types of motorcycles. I want you to be able to control those motorcycles and ride them with confidence between 1 and 10 miles per hour, because that's the speed range where it's all on you, where you have to be the boss of your motorcycle. And that's why I focus on that. It's going to make you a safer motorcycle rider, more knowledgeable. And with all of that skill, you're actually going to enjoy riding your motorcycle way more. All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty, guys. Yes, no clickbait here. I got rear-ended on Violet. And let me start out by saying the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you about it is a blessing in and of itself. So I'm thankful that I had minor injury to my coccyx, which is the tailbone part of my body. That's what I landed on. But I'm just thankful that I'm okay. All right, okay enough to be able to still walk and talk to you guys. And all right, so when this happened, guys, I was livid. And of course, most of us are going to be upset when if we're rear-ended, if we're involved in any type of accident, especially if we're 0% at fault. And that's the case here. So let me start out by saying I was rear-ended by another motorcycle, not a car. So that's good. All right. Remember, guys, I say all the time, spend more time being thankful for the things that you have and less time complaining about the things that you don't. So I am thankful that I'm okay. Violet's okay. All right. Of course, there's some damage. I'll go over that with you guys in a second. But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to not be pissed. Right. I still have the right to be pissed. So, yes, it was a motorcycle. Also, it was a friend of mine that hit me, a good friend of mine. This is leading up to the rage that I experienced. All right, this happened last week. Today is July 12th. This happened July 6th. So let me just give you the quick story. So we're getting ready to go to the gym, and he said he wanted to ride the motorcycles to the gym. Now this is in the evening hours, so it's like a night ride. So I was like, all right, no big deal. We leave my house, and we both live in the same subdivision. We leave my house, go around a little island, heading up the road. And I noticed when I went around the island and I looked in my rearview mirror, I noticed that he was way behind me. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was adjusting something with his, I don't know. I didn't even think twice about it. As I'm riding up the road, I see his garage door open. So I thought, hey, maybe he left the garage door open. So I slow down. And then I see his wife in the driveway. So I stop. I'm sitting there for about 3-4 seconds. And then boom! Man, hits the back of my motorcycle, pushes my motorcycle maybe 30 feet, sliding on the side of the motorcycle. And then I fly off the motorcycle and land on my the lower part of my back. So the first thing, my first reaction was what most people's first reaction would be. What the f? That's what I said. He's laying on the ground asking me if I'm all right. And I just want to know what the f, right? So if you guys are unfamiliar with Violet, the back of this motorcycle is lit up, period. But the back of this motorcycle is lit up, just lights like crazy. So it's impossible not to see this motorcycle from the back, especially if I'm on the brakes. I also have the magic strobe on it, so everything back there is strobing. So we can eliminate, I didn't know you were braking or I didn't see you. First thing he said to me after the third time, I said, what the f, to him? What are you doing? I said to him, you're not watching where you're going. Clearly you're not. And his response was, no, I was, but when I hit the brakes, they locked up. So now I'm even more livid because, listen, this is one of those situations where I don't need you to tell me what you're doing. I'm saying that because I want you to explain to me what's going on in your brain. I already know what happened. So I said to him, unless you hit me on purpose, you were not looking where you were going. All right. Anyway, so what this reminded me of is this same friend, maybe last year, we were going to go on a motorcycle ride. We were supposed to practice. And then I said, you know what? Let's just go for the ride. I remember us approaching a red light. Now, guys, I want you to listen to this because this is where the importance of practicing on your motorcycle comes in, and why I wanted to share all of this with you, because it's like everything that I talk about was happening to me. I'm the victim of it in real time. And when I say the victim of it, I'm the victim of somebody else neglecting practicing on their motorcycles and thinking they could just keep getting on these things and ride and hope everything works out. But remember, we practice for uh-oh. So anyway, we went for this ride, and I remember approaching an intersection, light turned yellow. I checked my mirror, saw he was a good distance behind me, and I said to myself, if I ride through this intersection, I'll make it, but he'll not. He'll either go through a red light or have to speed through it. So, brake, 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 brake. I came to a stop, downshift, downshift, downshift. And then I hear, I'm sitting here, and here's his motorcycle. Now he's in the middle of the intersection. So at that moment I said, all right, screw the ride. We're going to the parking lot, and we're going to practice emergency braking. And that's what we did. But guess what, guys? Like I said, that was probably a year ago. If you don't continually practice, there's no way in hell that when the crap hits the fan, you have that uh-oh moment that you're going to resort to muscle memory, because you don't have any muscle memory. Why? Because you didn't practice enough. That's the only way we are going to gain muscle memory in pretty much anything. But right now we're focusing on these motorcycles. You have to practice, right? So here's what happened. And this is without him telling me, because I already know. He was not looking where he was going, assuming I'm still moving. And remember, guys, this was not like he's right behind me and I did a brake check. I was sitting there for about 3 or 4 seconds. So he's not looking where he's going. And he actually was accelerating, because I told you he was a good distance behind me. So he's accelerating to catch up to me. And when you're not looking where you're going, the faster you go, obviously the more distance you're covering. And if I'm not moving, you're just closing in on me. So here's where the lack of training happens. He looked up and saw me not moving. And here's the oh crap. Oh crap. What did he do? Now, usually people will pull in the clutch, pull the front brake. What he did was probably pulled in the clutch. I don't know, because when he hit me, I heard his motorcycle under throttle up until he hit me. So I'm not saying it was full throttle, but he had a little bit of throttle going. He's jamming his rear brake down. That's where the long skid comes from. He's riding an M109. So no ABS. Boom, runs right into me. So after I go back and forth with him about, not really a back and forth, he said to me, well, I know you always say use the rear brake. Now I'm extra livid, because again, this is a result of him not practicing continuously. He's been to a few practice sessions, but him not practicing continuously and not remembering that I say 1,000,000 times, low speeds, less than 10 miles per hour, rear brake. You trying to stop that motorcycle and it's going fast, emergency braking, front brake, front brake. You can use the rear brake too, of course. My bikes have link brakes, but front brake, front brake, front brake, squeeze, 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 and squeeze all the way, right? Remember, we don't jerk at anything, but clearly he didn't do that. And what I explained to him is, please stop giving me bullcrap answers. These motorcycles, if you brake them properly, especially his motorcycles, not as heavy as these, it's not going to take that long to stop. And if I had the mindset at the time to take a picture of how long his skid mark is, he wasn't going that fast. He could have stopped that motorcycle in that amount of time. So that's the first thing, guys. Lack of practice with emergency braking. So when he had nothing to resort to except instincts. And like I tell you guys all the time, your instincts on one of these things, 9 times out of 10, wrong, wrong, wrong. It's going to be a bad result. Secondly, during the time that he's having this moment and he's grabbing the brakes, keep this in mind. This is a straight on, right? Straight on. He didn't swerve. He did nothing, just right into my motorcycle. And he said, I tried to swerve. Okay, so again, guys, this is a direct result of a lack of practice. What exercise do we go through every time in the practice sessions that covers swerving, right? Exercise number 5, the single serpentine. Now, I told him, if you're going too fast, you can't swerve. Swerves involve being able to turn your handlebars. If your speed's too high, you can't do that. At that speed, you're steering like this. But what he should have been able to do is slow his motorcycle down enough until he gets to a speed where he can now manipulate the motorcycle. Remember, I always tell you guys, dip it, dive it, swing it, manipulate the motorcycle. At a minimum, he could have done that. And if not, hit me straight on, maybe clip the saddlebag or something, right? You know, so guys, this is the practice or lack thereof part that I'm talking about that infuriates me, because like I told him, you know, if you take this crap lightly, you just want to ride and you don't want to focus on actually knowing what you're doing or building muscle memory, practicing so that you build that muscle memory. If you don't take the time to do that, keep in mind, I say this all the time, you are always taking a risk when you get on a motorcycle, period. It's dangerous. Regardless of your skill level, you're always taking a risk. With that being said, the less skill level that you have, the more risk you're taking. The problem with that is you're not just a risk to you. You're a risk to other people too. Because when the crap hits the fan, that's when stuff happens. And I'm a result now. I'm a victim of his lack of muscle memory and skill as it pertains to slow speed riding. That's why I tell you guys, this always comes in. Because even if he was able to stop, but not stop all the way, you have to get to a point where if you practice this enough, it will be in your muscle memory to swerve. He just panicked and that's what people do when they panic. Squeeze and hope for the best. Hopefully this thing will stop before I hit what's in front of me. Forget about the other stuff that we can do to avoid that collision. All right, so enough about that. Let me talk to you now about what I'm thankful for. I already told you I'm thankful. I'm okay, just a little injured. But I'm thankful that I was on Violet and not Valiant. Why is that? Violet has a backrest. And even if it didn't have a backrest, I got the tour pack back there. So if I got thrown back on this motorcycle, I could have been thrown off the motorcycle backwards, maybe into his motorcycle. So many things that could have happened that didn't. That's why I'm thankful. Secondly, guys, and I talked about this to you guys in the video that I did right before this video regarding me dropping the motorcycle and how I don't want you guys to not practice because of the fear that you're going to damage your motorcycle. And I tell you to get the proper things to protect the motorcycle. Ironically, that video and this accident happened on the same day. So I told you that when you hit my motorcycle, this motorcycle slid on the left side for maybe 30, actually more, a little bit over 30, maybe 35 feet, right? And I'm gonna talk to you about the damage in a second that this guy caused to the motorcycle. But what did not get damaged was anything on the side of my motorcycle. This is what I mean, guys, when I say your engine guards and your saddlebag guards are gonna work wonders. If you don't have them, you're just gonna pay a price for not having them. I'm talking about, of course, if you have a motorcycle that they can go on. On top of that, these motorcycle drop guards. Oh my God, guys. I remember I picked the motorcycle up, I brought it home, and I was looking right here, and I'm looking for scratches. I saw all of this white dust, and I was like, oh man, look at this. But when I got closer, and I rubbed it with my finger, it wiped clean. The white dust was all of the particles, I guess, from the metal and the ground from the motorcycle drop guards dragging across the ground. That is the only thing that was damaged on this motorcycle as a result of it sliding across. Rephrase. Well, yeah, I guess I could say damage because they're scratched. The scratches are damaged. The only thing damaged on this motorcycle as it pertains to sliding across the ground is the motorcycle drop guard on the front engine guard and the motorcycle drop guard on the back engine guard. My saddlebags didn't touch the ground. My lowers didn't touch the ground. I have a primary guard on here as well from motorcycle drop guards. It comes 3 pieces. So obviously that protected the primary cover. Nothing damaged, right? That's amazing. Like, I wish I was recording when this happened so you guys could see the significance of how important it is to protect your motorcycle, right? Now, keep this in mind. Even if I didn't have the motorcycle drop guards, the guards alone on the bike, the engine guard and the saddlebag guard, still would have done the job and taken on the scratching of damage, the damage to the motorcycle. It would have been scratches on the guards. It still would have protected the lowers and the saddlebags. So I want to show you guys what the damage was from what he caused from hitting the back of the motorcycle. All right, guys, so you can see that he damaged the tour pack right here. Nothing higher. His motorcycle is lower than mine. Actually, there was some contact right here on this light. Not a big deal. But the top of his headlight or fairing hit that. But where his tire hit, the main point of the impact, I don't know if you guys can see that, right here. So this is bent in right here. The rear fender is bent. Clearly this is bent. This piece right here, I thought this was plastic, right? That's this piece right here. But that's like a metal piece. So that's broken off. You can see that's broken down here. And you can see it's broken from right here. All right, that's how it's supposed to look. One solid piece. That broke off. And clearly he hit some of the saddlebag. So, you know, the saddlebag is nothing but plastic. So you can see right there, that's broken. This is the piece that's supposed to go through here. And, you know, so saddlebag is sideways. And as a result, I guess clearly something's bent with the pipe. Because now this pipe, you can see this pipe right here is bent to the left. So that's the extent of the damage that I can see. I still have to get everything inspected. But if we look at the side of this motorcycle, all right, see these scratches right here on the pipe? Now, the only reason that those scratches are there is because when he hit the motorcycle, now this is seated lower, right? That's the only reason those are scratched. Because I already told you guys that the guards, you saw the drop I did in the other video, and I showed you the pipe right after that. Not a scratch on it. And after this drop, those are the scrapes on the motorcycle drop guard, on the saddlebag guard. You already know about the one on the primary. And then here's the one on the engine guard, the motorcycle drop guard. Now, in the last video when I showed you this, it wasn't this significant because, like I said, this happened that evening. So I don't know what the hell's going on with Violet. They're testing out these motorcycle drop guards, and they definitely passed. So this was very unfortunate, but it's definitely something I can use to pass on to you guys to emphasize once again, how important it is to practice on these motorcycles, practice your slow speed motorcycle operating skills, practice emergency braking, and practice it. Again, you don't have to be out there for hours, but it has to be something that's that you're doing on a regular basis, all right? Keep it top of mind. Secondly, protect your motorcycle so that you don't have to worry about it being damaged when you do practice, in the case you drop the motorcycle, okay? And lastly, I want to show this to you, something else that's going to help you guys out. Now, you see, I got Valiant up here, right? I got Valiant up on the lift, and I got her up on the lift for a reason. So, you guys remember this video right here? Whoa! Now notice, I kept my feet on the floorboard. Yes, yes. That's all you got to do. So in that video, I was warming up, practicing, I slipped on some oil, the motorcycle went down, and for the third time, and I'll say it as much as I have to say it, I was letting you guys know that the point of that video is I want you to concentrate on not putting your foot down if the motorcycle starts to fall. Keep your feet on the footboards, and once the motorcycle rests, then put your foot down. And when that motorcycle fell, there were a few people that sent me comments, and they were like, oh my God. First of all, I slipped on oil, and a few people were like, They thought it was the lines in the parking lot or that the ground was wet. The only way the wetness participated in that is it hid the oil. Once the ground dried, clearly you can see where the big ass oil patch was. But the comment that I got the most is, there go those saddlebags, there goes that pipe, right? And I keep trying to tell people, the guards will protect the motorcycle. You watch that. Look at this picture right here, right? The front wheel is off of the ground in this picture, right? And it looks like that bike is deep into the saddlebag. And I got 50 caliber tab performance pipes on here, so they were a little bit, wider. So you're probably thinking, wow, it definitely had to hit the ground, right? No. So let's look at this bike. Okay, now keep in mind, this is not the first time I've dropped this motorcycle. Not the second, not the third, not the fourth, not the fifth, not the sixth, not the seventh. Okay, so there's my there's my highway pegs. Those are gonna scrape. I don't give a crap about that. Now, I don't have motorcycle drop guards on this motorcycle, right? Actually, they should be on their way here. I've been waiting for them for the longest. So every time I've dropped this motorcycle, it's dropped on the saddlebag guard, engine guard. So that's my engine guard, right? That's where the scrape is, right? Lowers, still looking good. All right. If we go to the primary cover, yes, I have scratches on that. You know why? Because I don't have the motorcycle drop guard primary guard, right? So that's going to help me out clearly. You can see that. That is scraped, right? Again, I'm not losing any sleep over that. You have to be almost under my motorcycle to see it. But lastly, here is my saddle bag guard, right? See that scratch? And that's good. That's a good amount of scratching too, because that's more than one time. But look at my bags. Not a scratch on them. My pipes. Not a scratch on them. So guys, I'm not making this up, that this thing right here does its job. They didn't design this because they thought it looked cool. Clearly that's not the case, because a lot of you guys don't want it because you don't think it looks cool. But if that guard, which in my opinion is always going to me, it makes the motorcycle look better because there's continuity with the one in the front, right? To me, it looks empty without it. But listen, it's no doubt about that it does its job, especially if it's going to prevent these big ass 50 caliber pipes from dragging the ground on a full on drop and slide, right? So guys, this is the reason why I had to cancel the practice session on July 9th. I was going to have one on the 23rd. I got to cancel that one as well. I just want to make sure I'm 100%, make sure everything's okay. I had an appointment this week at Harley Davidson in Jacksonville to have some cams installed on Violet. Clearly, I had to cancel that appointment. So, listen, these are all things that they're an annoyance to me, but the big picture is I'm okay. I was able to ride her home, so I wouldn't ride her on the highway. When I take it to the dealership, of course, I'm going to put it in the trailer because just to be sure, they got to go over everything they have to go over. And all of this is going to take time, and I know it. Part of the annoyance is this is my favorite girl, right? My favorite girl. Just getting ready to add something else to her to make her more of my favorite, and then this happens. But spend more time being thankful for the things that you have, less time complaining about the things that you don't. All right, guys, so enough said about that. I'm very thankful that I'm okay, that I can talk to you guys, and then I can share this information with you guys, and I'm hoping that it's going to do what I'm intending for it to do. And that is, once again, let you see that it may not even be you, but people that you ride with. If they don't practice, ride behind them, right? I already told this guy, he's not riding behind me anymore. Ride behind them, but encourage them to practice, and you practice. Let them understand how important this is. Give them information on the channel. Tell them about being a preloader. Whatever you need to do to encourage them to do what we're doing, please do so, because they're really a danger on the road to themselves and others. All right, guys? All right, so I've already forgiven my friend. Stuff happens, and he felt very bad about it. More so about me being injured than the motorcycle. The motorcycle's easy, and insurance will take care of that. But I let him know a lot of the decisions that we make and don't make can affect other people's lives. It can have an impact forever, or it can be small things, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. This stuff is not a game, all right? This is serious, serious stuff. Yes, they're fun. They're a lot of fun, but they're still dangerous, dangerous things, even more so if you don't really know what you're doing. All right, guys? All right, so that's all I have for you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Take care of each other. Take care of your friends. And part of the way we're going to take care of people that ride motorcycles particularly, we're going to encourage them to practice, and we're going to make sure we practice. All right, guys? All right, love you guys. Until next time.